apples, melons, prunes. Sweeten up your day. Good day to you.
Is there anything suspicious going on in these parts?
Indeed there is. I heard there's been quite a ruckus in Talmberg. It seems some gang of poachers has settled in the woods there. I couldn't tell you anything about it, though. You best talk to Nicholas, the Talmberg master hunter.
My respects to you.
Master Huntsman, is there any work for me here?
There's always something that needs doing. You're that Skalitz lad, aren't you? Sir Radzig's lackey.
That'll be me.
Right. I saw you here shortly after the attack. My word, to get away from Talmberg like that, quite remarkable. It's clear you're not easily scared. So I do have a job for you.
I'm listening.
We've been having terrible problems with poachers lately. In Sir Divish's forests, we've been finding gutted entrails of deer and rabbit nooses all over the place, but no sign of the bastards who put them there.
And you want me to track down the poachers?
Indeed. Whatever you learn will be useful to me.
Do you suspect anyone?
Well, it's hard to say, but seeing how much harm they're causing, I'd say they're no crofters looking for a Sunday roast.
Shouldn't you be dealing with the poachers yourself?
I should, you're quite right. But when I ask the local folk anything, their mouths close up like clams. They're more scared of me than the devil.
Do you think the locals are in on it?
Well, I don't know, maybe. But even if not, they'll never talk to me. They're scared I'll dig some skeleton out of their cupboard. You know, the smaller the village, the bigger the secrets. That's why I need an outsider to ask for me.
I understand. I'll try to find out something about them. Any advice about where to start?
Certainly. Ask around the village. Somebody must have seen or heard something. And it wouldn't hurt to ask in the inn in the glade, the one on the road towards Neuhof. I've heard they serve good venison, and no shortage of it.
That's clear enough. As soon as I hear anything, I'll let you know.
Thanks for your help, lad.
Can you teach me to be a better archer?
Certainly.
I'd like to hone my skills.
First, you have to have some skills to hone.
Well, I'll think it over. Can you help me with training my dog?
Certainly.
Well, I'll think it over. I'd like you to show me some hunting tricks.
Certainly.
Well, I'll think it over.
Take care now.
What in the name of God are you doing, poacher?
What the hell are you talking about?
What are you doing here? Looking for your kill, are you poacher? That dead deer?
I'm looking for humans and killing them.
Ah, well, all right then. I suppose that's fine. All right. I suppose you're innocent after all.
I'm glad you saw sense. And what were you doing here exactly?
What do you mean by that?
You're carrying the murder weapon.
You won't prove it's the murder weapon, but I'll prove I know how to use it.
It'll be easier if you just confess.
All right, then. I did it. I needed food. They killed my man, burned the house down. I have no food for me or the child. You don't really have to tell anyone, do you? And you won't regret it.
No need for that. I understand. Go, quick, and don't let me see you here again.
Thank you. God bless you.
I'm glad to see you.
Would you know of any way I could earn a bit of coin around here?
As it happens, I was just going to tell you about a job.
So, tell me.
Now and again, the fisherman from Talmberg comes around here with some game to sell. There's more and more poaching going on there, and they're always looking for new people, if you're interested.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Then find a fellow in Talmberg who goes by the name of Black Lukesh. I think he lives on the hill above the castle. Tell him I sent you.
Thanks.
Take care.
I'd like to learn to fight better with an axe.
Certainly.
I'd like to hone my skills.
First, you have to have some skills to hone.
Well, I'll think it over.
See you later. A tankard here!
Jesus Christ be praised.
I'd like to find out about the poachers round here who've been stealing game recently.
What about them?
Well, I wondered if you've got any idea who might be doing it.
Tom of the Baths was mouthing off in the tavern, that's all I know. Take care now.
Jesus Christ, your clothes. Were you assaulted? Damn bandits. May they burn in hell. Good luck then.
What? What are you doing here? Tired of life, are you? I'll slay you for that! Ah! Oh!
Get him!
What are you up to here? Get out! My respects to you.
I hear there's been trouble with poachers recently.
I don't have time to talk to strangers. Good day to you. God be with you.
I'm here to find out about the poachers gang, and I need to ask a few questions.
Well, ask away. I don't have all day.
I heard you were yelling in the tavern that you were off to hunt some venison.
Look here. I don't know who you are, but you should watch your mouth.
I will, don't you worry. So what happened then?
What? Nothing. It was just the beer talking. I got pissed and started spouting shit. Didn't mean a word of it.
Maybe not. That remains to be seen. That'll do me.
God be with you. Hey, what are you doing here? Clear off quick or I'll throw you.
God be with you.
I'd like to find out about the poachers around here who've been stealing game recently.
I don't have time for gossip. If that's what you're after, go and speak to Olena. You'll find her in the fisherman's hut by the pond. Take care.
Good day to you.
Good day to you. What do you need?
I'd like to find out about the poachers round here who've been stealing game recently.
Don't ask me. Talk to the blacksmith's Betty. She's the one who claimed she saw them feasting in the woods.
I see. Thanks. I'll go and ask.
God be with you.
Jesus Christ be praised.
I'd like to find out about the poachers round here who've been stealing game recently.
I don't know anything about it. But if I were you, I'd speak to Marta, the innkeeper's wife. She knows all the goings-on around here. You can find her at the tavern. Farewell.
Have you got a little time to spare?
What is it?
I'd like to challenge you to a duel, sir. A little amicable combat.
Why would I want to fight you?
Ad honorem, friend. For honor. For the thrill of combat.
Well, if that's how you look at it.
So, shall we cross swords?
That sounds interesting. But what shall we fight for?
Ah, so chivalry alone is not enough to tempt you.
No, sir. I'm drawn to more, glittering fate.
I see. Well, why not? Let us make it more interesting, then. I'll tell you what. I have a fine suit of armor, a horse, and a sword I won at dice. The horse and sword I can use, but the armor doesn't fit me well. I'll bet a piece of armor against a reasonable sum of groschen.
All right, why not?
I'm glad to hear it. Let's get to it, then. I'll gut you like a rabbit. Ah! Fucking hell! I'm over here. Kurwa! To hell with... Ah! Here, the reward you've earned.
You call that?
Ah!
Shit!
This won't take long.
Christ!
Don't move a finger. Surrender.
Right, you in.
committed a
Close
crime
up.
and You there. Stop. What the hell do you think you're doing, hurting people like that? We won't put up with violent brutes here. Is that clear? Well, you won't forget this in a hurry, because it'll take a nice pile of coin to fix it.
You're making a serious mistake. If only you knew what you've just got yourself into. This won't end well for you.
Well, I thought... That is, I had no idea.
Mother of God.
If that's how it is, of course you may go.
Good afternoon.
I heard there are poachers in the woods round here.
If only if it was just poachers. It's that sorcerer Hare. He's the one who's been running amok. I said he'd be back, and I said he'd be vengeful, and I was right both times.
Tell me something about Hannikin Hare.
Ah, that was all years ago. He turned up here one day. No one rightly knew where from. He claimed up at the castle to be a nobleman's son, and so he got the office of Master Huntsman, and Margaret was promised him for his wife. Nobody could have known he was a sorcerer.
And how did his sorcery reveal itself?
Well, he was able to vanish into thin air in the forest right in front of folk. And I've heard it said he spoke to animals, too, though I don't know the truth of it.
That doesn't sound very convincing to me.
That's because you've not seen his marksmanship. It wasn't natural, the things he could do with that bow of his. They say he sold his soul for the gift of it.
I see. How did it go with Margaret?
I'm not one to gossip, but she was a flighty lass in her younger years. She could never make up her mind which one she wanted, the Hare or Nicholas. So in the end, fate decided for her.
What do you mean? What happened with Hare?
Oh, that was quite something. And then some on top of it. Sir Henry of Lipo was visiting here at the castle, and Hare snapped his guardsman's neck with his bare hands. Of course, they found him out. But how do you keep a sorcerer under lock and key? You can't. That's your answer. And that Satan's spawn slipped the net.
Oh, well, it's quite a wild story. Any idea why he murdered the man?
No one knows, and most likely never will. But they say he was fully in the devil's power. There was a full moon, you see.
Was he actually seen killing the guardsman?
I suppose so. Else they'd hardly know who did it, would they?
That's probably true. There is one other thing I want to ask. Who does Hare want revenge on?
Master Huntsman Nicholas, of course. When the hare disappeared, Nicholas took his Margaret and the huntsman's posting.
So Nicholas came out of it well?
That one always knew how to land on his feet.
Tell me something about Hannikin Hare.
Ah, that was all years ago. He turned up here. He claimed up at the castle to be a...
Well, I should be going. Thanks for the chat.
Not at all. I always like a good chin wag. Take care.
Jesus Christ, your clothes. Were you assaulted? Damn bandits, may they burn in hell.
I've got a few questions about these poachers.
So ask.
I heard you saw something fishy in the forest.
That's right, I did.
Can you describe what you saw?
It was after dark, I remember that. I went up past the castle along by the clearing, and I saw someone had lit a fire, and there were figures singing and dancing, and I could hear the whistling of a pipe. And I could smell roast meat. It was like a feast of some sort. Only I thought maybe it was some witch's sabbat, so I was afraid to stay too long in case they saw me.
Did you recognise anyone there? Someone from the village, maybe?
No. Like I said, it was dark. All I could see was shadowy figures moving around.
Did you hear any familiar voices?
No. But I heard girls' laughter, goblets clinking, a piper playing. It sounded just like any feast.
Where is the clearing?
A short walk north of the castle. There's a track past the woodcutter's camp that takes you there.
Thanks. What do you make of this poaching that's been going on?
It's clear as day. Hannikin Hare's back. And putting those antlers on Nicholas's house? Well, we all know what that means, don't we? It's the sign of a cuckold, you mark my words.
You mean to say his wife's cheating on him?
All I'm saying is she might be feeling the urge. It happens in the best of families.
Well, you're the first who's certain of Hare's return. So far, I've just heard vague rumours.
Well, now, I wouldn't say I'm completely sure. I suppose some other mischief maker could have done it, but better the devil you know. And everyone hereabouts knows Hare.
You were singing a different song not long ago.
So? Why do you want to know so much, anyway?
It's nothing to you, but I'm helping Nicholas unmask that local poaching gang.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, now you know. And you also know not to keep anything from me. So, what's the story with that Hare?
All right, I'll tell you what I know. But promise not to tell Nicholas I said it.
I'll do what I can, but I need to let him know what I discover. So, out with it.
It's to do with Margaret, his wife. They say it's all because of her.
Keep going.
I know full well Hare's here, because Margaret admitted as much.
What did she tell you?
That he waited in the woods till she came by and they exchanged some words. Words was all she told me. Who knows what they actually got up to.
And what did they speak about?
I don't know. But if Nicholas knew they'd met, he'd most likely kill her.
You're sure she wasn't saying it in jest?
Oh, no. Margaret wouldn't joke about something like that.
Well, you're the first who's certain of Hare's return.
Well, now.
Stop trying to wriggle out of it.
But
you know who Radzig Kobılы is, right?
Of course.
I'm his right-hand man, and I'm helping the huntsman catch the poachers. So, I'm not someone you should be...
I don't know what you're up to, but I'll have nothing to do with it.
That's fine. I'm sorry. My apologies.
All right, I understand. Curiosity always gets the better of me.
Do you think Hare really killed that man?
Who knows the truth of it now? I did find it all a bit odd. Hare never was much of a hothead. But then again, no one really knew him that well. And Margaret never wanted to speak of it. Wouldn't hear a word about it.
That's all I need. Thanks.
Take care.
Good afternoon.
I heard you've got a poaching problem in the woods around here.
In the woods and out of them. Not long back, the bastards hung a deer's head on the huntsman's house.
That's pretty brazen of them.
Certainly is. Word around the village is that someone wants to shame him till he squirms.
Putting a deer's head on the huntsman's house sounds pretty risky. Why would anyone do that?
Maybe they want to show that Huntsman Nicholas is no match for them. And they're not wrong. He isn't the man he should be.
Do you think it was someone local?
I really don't know. All sorts of things get said. Hannikin Hare's back, if you listen to some, and others are going on about Tom of the Baths. They swear blind he's got his fingers in it.
And what about you?
It could be anyone. There's more than one that has it in for Nicholas. And who knows what the neighbors get up to by night.
What's so suspicious about this Thomas?
Just that he was drunk and blabbering about how he was going to bring back venison from the woods.
So why do people think Tom of the Baths is involved?
Ah, that's just nonsense. He was bragging in the tavern that he'd put on a venison feast for the village girls. Deer for the deers.
Did he?
I doubt it. He's all mouth and no trousers. But if you want to know more, ask my husband, the innkeeper. I wasn't here that evening.
That'll be all. Thanks.
Goodbye.
Good day to you.
I've heard Tom of the Baths was mouthing off in here.
So he did. He and Jack Piper were bragging about how they'd make a feast for the village lasses, that there'd be venison roast and enough beer to fill a river. And a few days later, they did come and buy a few kegs of beer from me.
Did they have anything else to say?
Not really. I told him to shut up, or someone would hear him and there'd be trouble.
And what did he say to that?
Nothing. He had more booze in him than the castle cellar. He just hiccuped and slid under the table. Piper took him off after that, thank God.
Do you suppose he meant it?
Hardly. He's nothing but a braggart.
All right, I'd best ask him myself.
Feel free to ask, but don't believe half what he says.
And who is this Jake Piper?
Oh, he's Tom's best mate. A decent fellow. They call him the Piper because everywhere he goes, he's whistling on that pipe of his.
Where can I find him?
Well, most likely in the quarry. He lends a hand there to make ends meet.
Do you think Nicholas isn't doing enough?
A master huntsman who lets poachers run wild through his woods? He's useless. He couldn't even stop them hanging a stag's head on his own house.
Right. Folk were talking about Hannikin Hare.
Oh, good Lord. People do like to prattle on. Don't you go believing a word they say. It's the back of beyond here, and they'll tell any tale to spice things up a bit.
Thank you, innkeeper. I'll be going. What do you think about all the poaching lately?
What should I be thinking? If they ever catch them, Sir Divish will have them skinned alive But for that to happen, our master huntsman would have to be made of sterner stuff.
Thank you, innkeeper. I'll be going.
God be with you. What can I do for you?
I'd like to find out about the poachers round here who've been stealing game recently.
If you ask me, there's some questions best left unanswered. But go and see Elena if you're determined. That old gossip will tell you all there is to know.
I'd like to ask you about Hannikin Hare.
I'm sorry, but I really don't want to talk about that.
The thing is, every time I spoke to someone about Hare, they always ended up talking about you.
But I don't.
You aren't to blame for anything, is that it? Well, I am willing to believe you, but you do know more than you're telling, and I need to hear it.
Very well. You're right. And what would you like to know about Hare?
How were things between you and Hare back then?
There was nothing between us. Hannikin Hare impressed my father with all his talk of noble blood. But I couldn't stand him, and I didn't want to marry him. And then I made no odds after he ran away.
So you didn't want it? I only asked because I've heard differently.
That's village talk. Of course folk gossip. Mostly they just want to hurt Nicholas.
Did Hare really commit the murder?
God in heaven, how should I know? Anyway, it doesn't matter now.
That remains to be seen. What did you talk about in the woods with Hannikin Hare?
I see Betty's mouth's been busy.
Don't blame her. I had to work hard to weasel it out of her. Now tell me.
Oh, all right. Well, it seems Hannikin Hare's exile has addled his brain. He told me he'd go off with me, that he still loves me and nonsense like that.
And what about you?
What do you mean? I was so shocked, I couldn't even scream.
Is that all he told you?
He said if I change my mind, I'm to hang a garland of forget-me-nots on the house and wait for him at that place of ours.
Where was it you saw him exactly?
I wish I could tell you. The whole thing was like a fever dream. I almost got lost trying to get out of the forest. Even if I remembered, it wouldn't be any use to you. Hannikin Hare moves through the forest like a ghost. He knows every tree root off by heart.
I want you to hang that garland on the lodge.
But I don't want to go anywhere with him.
You don't have to go anywhere. But tell me, where's that secret meeting place of yours?
On the way to Ujits. Back then, we used to meet by the great big beech tree, right next to the wayside shrine. There's a lovely view there, you see.
And what time will he be waiting there for you?
At dawn. What are you going to do to Hare?
Never you mind. The main thing is it will all get sorted out. And that's all that matters, isn't it?
I suppose so. Very well, then. I'll hang the garland for you.
That'll be everything.
Goodbye.